Good to see you.
I'm a student talker.
He is good. And that's, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Good morning. Honored guests, sponsor, friends, and media. I'm hosting the press conference for the Crisis and Opportunity this morning. My name is Ivy. I'm the president of Modesty Group Inc. Today we are here to bring you a message. Opportunity is always present in the midst of the crisis. We are going to have a convention in March 20th to 22nd this year. We are glad to have our VIP guests, Honorable Franz Capiti, and Stephen Clark, the President of Crisis Opportunity Inc., to attend our press conference today. First of all, I would like to introduce my longtime friends, the Mayor of Town Markham. Frank was elected Mayor of Town Markham in 2006 for the 4-year term ending in 2010. Mayor Scapiti is an official member of Town Committee and served York Region Council. Mayor Scapiti was elected Regional Council for the Town of Markham in 1985. He was elected in 1888 against in 1991. When he became Deputy Mayor of the town at the region, he served as chair of the York Region Planning and Economic Development Committee as a member of Transit and Solid Waste Committee. In May 2007, York Region Council appointed Frank to the York Region Police Service Board. And Frank has served a lot on the committee. And I'm not going to live here because we're involved here. And first of all, I would like to have our Honorable Frank Scapiti, the Mayor of Town Markham, to say a few words.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you very much, Ivy, and I'm glad you didn't read the whole thing. It's been a busy morning. I just want to say congratulations to you, Ivy, and to Stephen for coming to Markham to put together the first Crisis and Opportunities Conference. It's important, I believe, that we have seminars and workshops like this to help businesses try and figure out in these tough economic times how we survive as businesses, how we continue to grow our business opportunities. And you know, it's like everything, you can always view the glass either half empty or half full. They always say there's a silver lining in every cloud, and there are, even in these tough economic times, opportunities to come together as business people and figure out how we can help each other. And I think it's important. And it's important to me to know that the business community will have an opportunity within the town of Markham to come together, to hear experts, to find out how we face the challenging times that we're in. And so I thank you for choosing the town of Markham as the place to do this. I'm particularly pleased to have Royce Ning, who heads up the Association of Chinese Canadian Entrepreneurs, and Joe Lee, who's been involved with our community as well. I really thank for your involvement in this whole exercise as well. It's important anywhere to be able to come together as a business community, particularly for small and medium-sized companies, to learn about how we weather the storm. As much as Markham is Canada's high-tech capital, we are no different than any other community across the province and the country. The bulk of our employees are employed by small and medium-sized businesses. And in fact, once in a while, the small and medium-sized businesses are so successful, they become the large employers in Markham and in the region. And we've seen that so many times. And typically in the past number of years, it's because of the immigrant population that we have that we've achieved that success. And Royson and others are examples of that. One that I always like to talk about as well is the former ATI Technologies, a company that was started literally in a garage, then into a small industrial unit, and then grew to be one of the town of Markham's biggest employers. And I think when we face these times, it's important to provide support within the community for everyone. But I think we know the extraordinary challenges that new immigrants face when they come to this country. And we've all worked together to try and improve the way in which new immigrants are integrated into Canadian society. I chaired the Inclusivity Action Plan, and this was a number of organizations that came together to look at ways that they could help new immigrants integrate into Canadian society quicker. Because right now, it takes about an average of 15 years for a new immigrant to feel fully integrated into Canadian society. And I don't know about you, but I think that's way too long. Because in those 15 years, young children become adults, adults might become seniors, and you know, if there's a growing frustration that the talents that these people have not been able to be utilized, people haven't been able to find their opportunity in our community, there's a real sense of frustration. And certainly we've seen in other parts of the world the real negatives of that. We've seen where people have come to this country and perhaps gone back to their place of origin because they have not had those opportunities. In some cases they feel the opportunities are south of the border and they've gone there. So we've developed the Inclusivity Action Plan and now have a Welcome Center in the region, and there'll be another Welcome Center that's going to open up here in Markham to assist new immigrants. So now I say that because we talked about that in good times. So can you imagine the extra challenge and the difficulty that new immigrants have when the economy is not good? We need to provide greater opportunities. We need to provide greater support and help them understand in these times of crisis where those opportunities lie. So this is why when I was asked would I support this conference, I felt very strongly that yes I would, and that you couldn't have picked a better location in Markham to do it with Canada's most diverse community. I was asked the other day by a paper, and I guess they're going to do a story, it's one of the mainstream papers, how I felt about immigration and should we continue immigration knowing that we face the economic tough times that we're in. And you know, I said, well look, people are more sophisticated these days, more than ever. And this is not just one part of the world that is facing the economic crisis. And I think people in their own thoughts about what they want to do and what moves they want to make, they'll look into what's happening in Canada and make their decision whether it's good for them to come to Canada. But I said that we shouldn't overreact. We should allow immigration to continue. And I think that if we keep only focused on the current economic times and not think about the future, we're going to shortchange ourselves. And I think, again, this is why this is a wonderful opportunity through this conference to not necessarily focus on just the tough things that we're going through, but the opportunities that even in tough times exist, and how, by taking advantage of those opportunities, we get beyond the tough times and bring back the economic prosperity in this community, across the province, and in Canada. So thank you very much for coming.
Now, let me call upon Stephen Clark, founder of Crisis and Opportunity. And Stephen, you may want to introduce yourself to the meeting.
Thank you, Ivy. Thank you for coming, first of all, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. We developed the Crisis and Opportunity Conference and Expo to basically educate small business owners and those entrepreneurs who are looking for ways to thrive in these challenging times. There's no doubt that we are in an economic crisis, and however, history has taught us that over the years, taking advantage, looking for opportunities in these particular times can lead to great prosperity. I was talking to a group the other day about the Dow Jones average. It's based on 30 companies and the average stock, and 16 of today's 30 companies were started in the Great Depression. So great opportunities exist, and the problem is that we're not doing enough to let people know what they are and giving them the tools that they can go forward and actually thrive in these economic challenges. So Crisis and Opportunity was basically founded on that premise. We had put together an unbelievable lineup of professionals in their field, talking about marketing, sales, referrals. We have our group here from Mad Hatter talking about taking referrals and turning them into customers. We have a really strong lineup that's going to educate these people, and we're very proud to kick off our first event. We plan on taking these across the country in 12, 15 cities, and we're very, very honored to have our first one here in Markham, and we're looking forward to a great turnout and being able to build the foundation in small business, because we believe, and I think a lot of people agree, that in order to turn this thing around, it has to happen at the small business level. And people who are looking for opportunities and refuse, quite frankly, to participate in this economic crisis. So thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing you there. And Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for your participation. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Before long, hardworking is the word to describe Chinese. But how to make the business successfully, only hard work is not enough. Mr. Royson is going to be one of our speakers in the Chinese section. So let us have Royson to say a few words and share his experience.
Thank you. First of all, on behalf of the community, we want to thank Frank for, first of all, not increasing our tax, promoting our region. And again, my name is Royson. I'm the president of SAMTAC and also the president of Canadian Chinese Entrepreneur Association. And one of the things I want to share with you is that my 18 years of experience in this line, and my customer base are people like Walmart, Best Buy, Future Shop, Staples, and Office Depot, and so on. And it's not easy to get in, but with the experience I have 18 years, speak for itself. And it took me 3 years to knock the door at Walmart to do business. Now, just come to this event, you learn everything in one day. And I encourage you to come. And one idea is to share with you the success on that. And I think do not miss this event. Please come and take advantage of this event. Thank you.
We must have a sponsor to support us. So now I would like to call Jolie, as our sponsor, to say a few words.
Well, I'm going to be brief. Maybe you probably are not aware about, I represent Sun Life Financial, and actually I'm doing a convincing story to move on our office to be located in Markham.
Well, 0% taxes.
Well, Sun Life is very happy, to be a sponsor for this event. When Ivy approached me, whether I'll be interested, I talked to my company, and my company said, well, Joe, you are the one that convinced us to move to Markham, so anything happening in Markham, we got to be part of it in the near future. So, Ivy also invited me to probably on the 3-day event to be one of the guest speakers, which I later on would like to, talk about my experience as a businessman. As Stephen mentioned, today there's crisis, but this morning before I walk in here, someone asked me, how's your business? I said, well, we are in the risk management business. But when people get worried, they get stressed. When they get stressed, next thing that happens is we look after them when they get stroke and heart attack. And that's our job. We make sure, what happened, we can control, but we make sure financially they're okay in the family. Anyway, look forward for this great event in the coming weeks. And thank you for coming to the town of Markham. And I look forward to work with the mayor and the rest of the town people. Thank you.
Whatever we do, we always need his friend to support and help. And I have Charles here to help me. Charles, would you please say a few words, please?
Thank you. I'm very glad to attend this news conference. And my name is Charles Chen, President of Ukrainian Financial Group. And our office is located in Markham. So thanks for not increasing the tax as well. And also, because our company is a financial company, we're actually in the middle of this financial crisis. And we are trying our best to help our client hand in hand to handle it and to walk across this financial crisis to walk towards the future. I think this is a very good conference because crisis and opportunities in Chinese Weiji, whenever there's a crisis, there is opportunities. And that's how we view it. And I think that currently we lack confidence across the world. And I think we should work hard, work together to reinstall confidence together and to work towards the future. I think we will be there. Thank you.
Now it's come to the question and answer period. Please, media, do not hesitate to ask questions, whatever you want to ask from our VIP guests here. Thank you.
You're overwhelmed.
You know, but-
So you have no question to ask?
So what's the detail of the promotion?
The detail, we have a media kit out, video media kit that everything's included. Included all the bio of the people who are here and the details. And if you want to know more about it, you can give me a call or can log into the website www.crisisandopportunity.ca. And
Maybe you could just highlight some of the sessions that you'll be having, just so that he's got an idea, like what type of topics.
Sure, I'll talk on that. We've put together, as I said before, we've tried to put together a series of very high-end speakers in their field. So we have Lisa Shepard, who's one of the top under 40 women. She's a very high-end speaker and has a mezzanine marketing she owns, and she'll be speaking. We have speakers talking about sales from sales partners who train people how to effectively sell. And Nicole Jensen will be leading that one. We have a very inspirational type of speakers, a combo actually, courageous living ladies who will be opening the conference and talking about that. We also have a feature which is quite interesting, Dave Farrell, and I don't know if anybody know Dave Farrell, but Dave Farrell just set the Guinness Book of Records for memory. He memorized 59 decks of cards in order. And the reason why it was important for us is because Dave actually maintains that that's not a trick. There's nothing he can actually teach you, and he's challenged actually one of us, we won't say who, but to go up on the stage, and he will actually, in his period, he'll walk us through and teach that person how to memorize one deck of cards. And so that alone, I mean, is pretty good. But he believes we all maintain that. So we're trying to give the real tools down. We're talking with people about, the different opportunities that are out there, the type of investments that are out there if you have them. So there'll be a whole bunch of things. And we'll have Joe talking about Joe's going to talk about a story, about what happened to him personally. So those are the types of seminars. And we have a full list on our website of all the speakers and the subjects they'll be talking on. So we encourage you to visit that. Okay.
We also have Sandra Tam, who's with our Economic Development Office, and specifically with the Small Enterprise Center. So again, just to make people aware of the fact that anyone who's thinking of starting in a business, and you heard that even in tough times, people do start businesses and are successful. Sandra will be able to highlight some of the services that are provided here in the town of Markham through our Small Enterprises Center.
For me, this was the first time I'm sharing with so many people that the experience I had. And the reason why I picked this topic is that many people think this is a crisis, and yet if you look at Walmart today, they opened 36 more stores this year. So that means they are expanding. And the Walmart name, a lot of people may say, well, they're too big. They're $33 billion company in Canada alone. And so how can I do it? Walmart alone in Canada has more than about 10,000 vendors in Canada alone. So that means it ranges from very small to very big. So just don't be worried about this big company you can't do business with. In fact, I'm going to share with you, this is one thing that they will allow you to go in there to do business with. And it's just a small Walmart, it will be a Canadian Tire, anybody else. And I'm saying that why we pick this topic again is to say, it might be very small home start, but there is opportunity for you to get in there, into this business. So this is why I'm trying to emphasize on.
Any more questions?
To the end. Any more questions?
I don't think so. Ivy?
Okay, thank you for your presence.
I have a quick question.
Oh, yes.
How many people are you expecting over the weekend?
We're expecting 1,000 people, which is basically the maximum capacity for the Hilton. And we've got some different programs that we're doing. There'll be interactive referral networks, as I mentioned, the Mad Hatter. So it'll be a pretty jam-packed weekend. We're also bringing in a couple of special guests that we haven't announced yet, but that we will over the next couple of weeks. So it'll be. We're trying to make it some fun as well, because that's part of doing business. You need to, it's not all work. You need to make sure that that you're enjoying it as well. And I think, as I said, the message that we're really trying to say is that yes, no one's trying to hide the fact that we are in times of economic crisis, but there are opportunities to to expand your business and thrive. And we'll have people there, people from BizLaunch who basically train entrepreneurs, and they do that through teaching you how to tap into the internet and the social media that's going on out there. So they'll be doing that in a great session that they provide. I've been to a couple of them. So those are the types of things. So we really encourage small business owners to to come out. People looking for opportunities, they'll be there as well. So March 20th to 22nd. Hopefully we'll see you all there.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your presence. I hope everyone will find time to attend the event. I'm sure that the conference will benefit you. As Stephen has just said, we will provide education and hope. So if you have more questions to ask, please call me.
Thank you.
Thank you.